No.
Township Council Workshop, Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. This meeting is now called to order. Councilwoman Hablitz, please lead us in a salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please read the statement of public notice.
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. A notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on April 29th, 2025. Copy of the notice was sent to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the Township website at littlefallsnj.gov. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Thank you. At this time, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Present.
Councilmember Murphy?
Present.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. Mayor Damiano.
Thank you, Council President. This evening, we have a proclamation recognizing Pride Month. As everyone knows, June is Pride Month across the United States. And this evening, we'll be doing a proclamation in honor of so in Little Falls. And I want to thank all of you for joining us on Monday for the flag raising. Thank you, Councilman Vanchery, for setting that up. We had a great turnout and it was a great event. And the proclamation reads, whereas our nation was founded upon the declaration that all people are created equal, that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are among the inalienable rights of every person, and that each person shall be accorded the equal protection of the law. And whereas the LGBTQIA+ community has made great strides forward, but equality, inclusion, and acceptance have not yet been fully achieved. We must practice these values and teach them to future generations. And whereas this year marks the 56th anniversary of the Stonewall riots, the birth of Pride celebrations as we know them, and during LGBTQIA+ Pride Month, we commemorate the events of June 1969 and commit to achieving equal justice under the law for the LGBTQIA community. And whereas we celebrate and support our LGBTQIA+ community's right to live their lives out loud during Pride Month and every month, and as we celebrate Pride, we must continue to demand equal rights for all. Now, therefore, I, James Belford Damiano, Mayor of the Township of Little Falls, on behalf of the Township Council, do hereby proclaim June 2025 as LGBTQIA+ Pride Month in the Township of Little Falls, and we encourage all residents to celebrate the progress within our culture towards justice, equality, and full civic recognition for LGBTQIA+ persons, and to join us in the fight that remains to be won. Council President, that's all that I have aside from the public hearing of the 2025 municipal budget.
Thank you, Mayor. Have a motion to open to the public hearing for the 2025 municipal budget.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Hablitz, second by Councilman Vanchery. Let's do a roll call. Call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, the public hearing for the municipal budget of 2025 is now open. Seeing no one come before this governing body, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Patel, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I have a motion to open the meeting to the public for general matters and agenda items.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman
Second.
Murphy, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the council president will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. Seeing no one come before us, can I have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Patel. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Mayor, items 1 through 7.
Sure, Council President. Items 1 and 2 go hand in hand to amend the 2025 municipal budget and to adopt it. There's a small amendment due to the shared service agreement that we have with Elmwood Park, which is included in the budget and has since been amended to include that. And resolution to adopt the 2025 municipal budget, as I indicated, goes hand in hand with that. Any questions on 1 or 2? All right, item number 3 is emergency resolution amendment. This was due to our 2017 Ford F-450, our ambulance in town needing a significant amount of repairs. We were funding it as an emergency. It was a bit high of a figure because of the extensive amount of work that needed to be done. And this is about a $14,000 bill that we are experiencing with this. I know one of the items that I discussed with each council member individually when I had met with each of you to discuss this year's capital ordinances was the purchase of an ambulance for the Township of Little Falls for the future. This is just a clear indication that that is something that is necessary in this township to provide public safety to our residents and fast emergency response times with EMT care. Unfortunately, this is a $14,000 bill to service this one. And again, even if we do purchase a new one this year, in this budget year, we are looking at a 1 to even 2 year delay on the delivery of that vehicle. So we will probably see some additional repair costs over the next couple of years. Hopefully not like this. We have been maintaining them and upkeeping them to the greatest extent possible, but that is Resolution C. Any questions on Resolution C? All right, number 4 is a resolution appointing a municipal housing liaison, and all municipalities in the state now need to appoint a municipal housing liaison. We can do so by utilizing a township employee now or finding someone else to provide the service. I have appointed our municipal clerk, Cynthia Kraus, as the municipal housing liaison for the upcoming year, and there is a small stipend from the state that comes along with that, which will be provided. Any questions on item number 4? All right, item number 5 is a resolution authorizing the execution of renewal agreement with the City of Clifton for health services. I have been very pleased with the services provided to us by Clifton over the past handful of years as our health services provider. And they have managed to provide us with a contract for these next couple of years that call for a 1% raise for the next 2 years. So I was very pleased with that proposal from them and looking to move forward with that by resolution item number 5. Any questions on that?
Council President, not a question.
Move to
more
floor,
so-
Councilwoman Patel.
Thank you. Just a comment. Mayor, I do agree with you. I've been working with the Clifton Health Department now since I've been on council. Not only are they a pleasure to work with, but the amount of services they provide to our township is just exceptional. And I hope the rest of my council members will agree and allow this resolution to pass.
Thank you.
And Councilwoman, to your point, I have met with other health service providers, especially earlier on in my tenure as mayor. And I can tell you, there were almost no other ones out there that provided the same level of service for the same cost, especially that included animal control services. That is something that they provide to us, included in the total cost of this contract with them. A lot of other providers were higher with less services. So certainly a partnership that I would like to continue here in town. And much to your point, they do provide great services to our residents here in Little Falls. Item number 6, we have previously discussed this item here in council chambers about amending the resolution to rescind the resolution denying the renewal of Cella's liquor license. As we've heard, there is a new purchaser looking to come in to operate at that location in the future, and this is one of the steps necessary to allow this to proceed and allow them to operate there in the future. Any questions for item number 6? All right, and finally, item number 7. This one is about as clear as it states on its face, which is not always common. It's an ordinance amending chapter 7, designating no turn on red intersection. And for those of you that may be familiar with the new traffic light, and that's all of us here for sure, and for those in the public, the traffic light at the intersection of Francisco Ave and Cedar Grove Road, there have been no turn on red signs installed in order to ensure that they are fully enforceable in the future. Having them adopted by ordinance is a way to confirm that and ensure that there's an ordinance associated with it for local violations here. So amending chapter 7 to include those 4 no turn on reds is what this is looking to do. Any questions on item number 7?
Councilman Vanchery, you were an advocate for this light and worked diligently to get this community that light. Tell me why we need a new no turn on red at that intersection.
If you want my honest opinion, we don't need a no turn on red. All we're going to do is create a little more backup once again, like we had with a stop sign. I mean, let's look at Union and Main right now. There was a sign there that said no turn on red that was not through an ordinance. And once that was removed, you notice a difference in the patterns where Union is not backed up as far as the garden center that's down the road over there. I mean, I think personally, we should not put the signs. I know it's disappointing that the signs were put up before we came to this point. I know that's on the contractor and everything else, but I think we should have had a discussion. We just installed the light, and I'd prefer if we tabled this and maybe wait and see how it goes, because the last thing we want to do is have people stopped when there's no oncoming traffic the other way, when they can just make a right and proceed to their destination. So I would say if we could, table this and maybe look at it in like 3 to 6 months as we evaluate that whole intersection at this point, because we just had the light installed. So that's.
Council President, if I may.
Mayor Damiano.
What I would suggest to the council is this, is that tonight is just an introduction of this ordinance. By introducing the ordinance, it advises the public that this is something that needs to be discussed further in town. By introducing this ordinance, it also allows for very swift action to be taken by the council in the future if you determine that we should have no turn on red signs there in the future. So what I would suggest is that the ordinance be introduced this evening to allow for an adoption in the future if necessary. And that gives us until a December meeting to adopt it if necessary. But Councilman, to your point, I also believe that they may not be necessary in this intersection. And if that is the determination of this council to not proceed with the signs being there and installed there, and we can ask to have them removed by our DPW this upcoming week. If the council's decision is to have them removed and to not have them made a permanent fixture there, we can simply just never adopt the ordinance that I think should be introduced tonight. Again, just to allow for additional public comment on this, to provide for additional information from the public, as well as the council's review of this intersection and what should happen in the future. This is not me stating my position that they should or should not even be there. This is simply just allowing for what I think would be swift government action in the future if necessary, or allowing it to simply die by the end of the year if it does not get adopted.
That's fine with me. I would just ask Council President if we just take the signs down, because right now that's not an enforceable ordinance in place. So it is kind of deceiving. And a few residents had reached out, but disappointed that this was up there and there was no ordinance as they checked on the website. So yeah, I mean, I would encourage to have the signs removed this week. And then to your point, we can introduce it, but never move forward with it. It's fine. I just think we just got the light. Let's see how it goes, because we've had people ask about, adopting a left turn signal or putting, some stuff on the ground. Well, let's just, kind of see how it goes for now and then revisit it when we need to.
I spoke with a resident, Mrs. Avolio, who lives on Cedar Grove Road, and because she was an advocate for that light. And she said, please don't pass a no turn on red. It would cause more confusion and more backup traffic. I'm trying to understand why the no turn on red as I come down Francisco and I want to make a right-hand turn. Is that a safety issue? Why I shouldn't be able to make that right-hand turn? Chief, do you have any insight on this? You feel that intersection should have a no turn on red because of not visibility of cars, or?
Well, Council President, what I would echo the sentiment. I think the light is still too new. And there's not enough data there to support our position to kind of, be in favor or not in favor. The issue that we had with the Union Ave was the downstream effects. right? And so by the no turn on red being there, it actually caused a break in the traffic, and we saw a decrease in crashes on Montclair Avenue coming out onto Main Street. So that's something to consider is the not necessarily the intersection, but the downstream effects. So if you have people trying to get out of their driveways or people are trying to get out of adjoining streets, the no turn on red will put that break in the traffic to allow motorists to safely enter the roadway. So that's a whole, different consideration that we should really look at when we look at the intersection. And I would just recommend that we'll let it go for a period of time, and then our traffic unit can really take a good look at it. Not only the intersection itself, but any downstream or upstream, effects and consequences of not having that break in the traffic.
Thank you, Chief, for that
Yep.
insight. Mayor Damiano?
Yeah, to the chief's point, one of the just concerns that I have I should say possible concerns that I have, because it's not legitimately yet, is when you're on Cedar Grove Road heading towards Francisco from Main Street. And as you approach the intersection there with Wilmore Road to your right, one of the concerns that I have is that drivers trying to make the left turn onto Francisco when there is a red light on Francisco at the time, which would allow that driver to make the right from Cedar Grove onto Francisco Ave, that the drivers from Wilmore now don't have that clear path or that break in traffic to make that left into the don't block the box area, which is intended to allow them to sort of empty out of Wilmore Road onto Francisco during a break. Again, we don't know enough yet to see if that is an actual problem or not. It was just one of the things that I foresee as a potential issue there. Again, when we look at plans on sheets of paper, we see 4 no turn on red signs, and it's hard to really envision what the impact of that may be. They were in the original plans. That's why they're installed now. But Councilman, to your point, I don't know that we know enough to say they are or are not necessary. So maybe going a period of time without them to determine how that actually does impact traffic or not is something that we can do.
Yeah, I mean, Councilman, yeah, I
Councilman
mean, that was my
Vanchery.
thing too. The light's been up just over a month. 3 to 6 months, potentially, you start to see the data and what the impact is. Then we could kind of revisit things. Because even like I said, if we need to like restripe the lining, especially on Francisco, to have the left turn signal painted on both sides as well as the continuation, because you see that a lot when people are making a left. I did it this morning, coming home from the gym. I was making a left onto Francisco, and a car was able to go around me to continue. I'm making a left on Cedar Grove Road, sorry. Was allowed to continue up Francisco. But I just think, let's just see how it goes, because this is all new. And Chief, I don't know, has there been any crashes since the light? There's been a couple, I think, if I'm not mistaken, a couple not realizing the light was there, right? Was it a couple, if I'm not mistaken?
I haven't reviewed it recently, but I know when the mayor had asked me, there was.
I think there's one within the first couple of days of
Yeah.
being installed.
Because
I don't know that there's been.
yeah, and the comment was they didn't realize the light was there. So
Well, let's keep the conversation on the no turn on red. Any other council member have any input on this no turn on red?
So just real quick, to clarify, we're just
Councilman Murphy?
on introduction, we will remove the signs and then table
I-
this for a later date
Yeah.
until it's adoption or rejection, and then got it.
I concur, Councilman Murphy and Councilman Vanchery, that the sign should be removed so there's no confusion to the motorists. Plus, it's it's not enforceable. It's only makes more confusion. So under the mayor's jurisdiction, he has the right to remove those signs, and that's what we would request. I don't have a problem in introducing this, but definitely not putting it on for a second reading until we get more clarification and more data, because I'm quite not comfortable in passing this at this point myself. Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the following applications? This is a roll call. Does anybody have any problem with the applications? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Council President, we need a
I'm sorry.
motion in a second.
I'm sorry.
A motion in a second.
I'm sorry. Have a motion to approve the following applications. Moved by Councilman Vanchery, second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Now can I have a roll call?
Councilmember Patel,
Council President, it's just the applications, right? And then we'll do a separate,
That's correct.
okay.
We're just you're just voting on the applications. The municipal budget will come up onto the next roll call.
Thank you.
You're
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery.
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, we'll take the action items one at a time. Can I have a motion to approve Resolution A?
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Patel,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Hablitz. Can I have a roll call to for the resolution to amend the 2025 municipal budget.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, can I have a motion to adopt the 2025 municipal budget? Moved by Councilman Hablitz,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. Roll call.
Councilmember Patel,
No.
Councilmember Murphy.
No.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, on emergency resolution amendment C, roll call, please.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy,
Second.
second by Councilman Patel. Call the roll.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, can I have a motion to approve resolution appointing a municipal housing liaison?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Patel, second by Councilman Hablitz. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Patel,
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Authorizing execution of renewal agreement between the Township of Little Falls and the City of Clifton. Motion.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Patel,
Second.
second by Councilman Murphy. Roll call.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, amending resolution for municipal council for the Township of Little Falls. Roll call. Motion.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Patel. Roll call.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, motion for the bill list.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Patel. Roll call.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet.
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes,
Council President,
yes,
if I may, before we-
Mayor Damiano, the floor is yours.
before we get into new business, there's just something I feel I need to get off my chest. And, the last meeting, we were sitting here and Councilman Murphy indicated he had issues with last year's budget. And that's why he voted against this year's budget, but cited no issues with this year's budget whatsoever. He also never cited a single issue to me about last year's budget when he approved it, which was easy for everyone to vote in favor of because there was no tax increase whatsoever. At no point prior to that meeting, nor prior to this meeting, did anyone raise any objections with this year's budget or address any proposed spending in private or in public. Opposing today's budget, which includes a necessary tax increase, seems politically motivated and inconsistent with good governance. I agree with everyone that this year's budget's a tough pill to swallow based upon the simple cost increase. But voting no on this year's budget is voting no to the government running, in which there are no alternatives to. There's nothing to be cut from this year's budget. There's no wasteful spending. Nothing raised by Councilman Murphy about last year's budget addresses a single penny of wasteful spending in this year's budget. It seems that Councilman Murphy believes that we should have raised taxes last year without a real need to do so. And frankly, I'd prefer to keep money in people's pockets whenever possible and only raise taxes when absolutely necessary. We should all be solution-oriented, and no other options being presented related to this year's budget indicates an affirmation of the fact that there's no waste in this year's budget. It's simply easier to say no to a tax increase than take the hard position that includes taking responsible action and passing a budget which includes an increase.
Council President, if I may.
Yeah, through the floor, Councilman Murphy.
So Mayor, with respect, I wholeheartedly disagree with you on that. First things first, I don't think there's anything political about that. I mean, we've supported budgets, we've worked together on budgets in the past. This is not a political play that we're doing here. It's the mayor's budget. You present the budget to council, we vote yes or no on it. We're entitled to our opinions, we're entitled to what we want to do. As for what we can cut, Mayor, with respect, that's your job. It's the mayor's budget. It's not Councilman Murphy's budget. It's not the council's budget. It's the mayor's budget. You present it to us and not for nothing. You have not called us at all on this whole process. So you're free to sit here and say, for me to come up with a solution, it's your budget. So I could go through this budget and say, yeah, Mayor, how about we take out the stipends for council and mayor? We can cut that. I mean, why haven't we cut that? So if you want me to give you solutions on how we can cut things, I'll give you solutions. It's not my job to do that. I'm happy to do that, but we are more than willing to sit here and say, how do you want to do this? How do you want to go about this on record? You never once call me outside of this on record. That's politically motivated. Not for nothing, politically motivated. I mean, you're the one who takes to Facebook every time we vote no. Last time we voted no on something, you took to Facebook and instead of calling me and asking about it, and not for nothing, that Facebook post wasn't even true about what you posted on there, and we had a later discussion about that. So I take major offense to what you're saying about this. You can call me, it's the mayor's budget, you could ask me for my opinion on it, which you never once done, and not for nothing, I have no faith in the administration for what was done last year. I scheduled a meeting with the BA, and at the time, the CFO, I had concerns with him about where I thought there were issues with the budget. I was told my issues are of no concern. My math was wrong, their math was right. Here's where the taxes are going to come from. Here's where it's going to come up from, development, cannabis. Well, that never came. And so you sit here and you say, well, why can't you support this year's budget? I can't support this year's budget because I had concerns with last year's budget. And I brought those to them and I was told I was wrong. And now the tax dollars never came, as I warned, and my concerns were. So I think we have to sit back and say, we're entitled to our opinions of what we feel on this budget. My answer is going to be no. End of the day, Mayor, it's your budget. I'm sorry, but I just can't support it.
That's not how the budget works.
Mayor Damiano.
I present the budget to the council. It is the council's job to either adopt, amend, or reject the budget. There were 0 amendments that were even discussed whatsoever. It is the council's job in this form of government to make modifications to the budget that I propose that this council adopt. That is how it has worked in this municipality since this form of government has taken effect, decades ago. So to say that you also scheduled a meeting with everyone but me last year to discuss what you just indicated is my budget, never once raising a single concern with me, and me having never been even made aware that a single meeting happened, I believe shows that this is politically motivated. Voting yes when there's no tax increase is easy. Voting no when there is a
Mayor,
tax increase is
you
also
know,
easy.
that's so untrue. Mayor, you are the author of the budget. And so I went to the numbers guy to confirm the numbers with what I thought was on or wrong. And not for nothing, we're supposed to have the budget by February 28th. We didn't receive it, the final one, until a couple of days before the vote was it May? I mean,
Yeah.
not for nothing, a couple of days to fully review any amendments to that budget. And my phone's here. You have my number. We could talk about it anytime. But I disagree with that. The whole notion that it's for us to amend. Well, then let's have a discussion on what, I mean, this is insane to me that we could sit here and say that something that you author, that I went to a CFO to check the math on, the numbers guy to check the math on, and was told my concerns aren't of issue. And you were presented a tax decrease. I'm for tax. All of us, we should be for tax decrease. I mean, how would we ever vote no on that? I mean, I don't see how that in any way is any shape or form political. We have worked nonpartisanly, and I think we've agreed on many things, and we've disagreed on some. But to say that this is a political move to me is insane. I brought concerns up. I was told my concerns were not concerns. I have little faith in the process of how that worked and how it went about it. I don't like it. If I want to be political, trust me, I definitely can. I could talk about tax decreases every year the mayor runs. I mean, we want to talk about politics. I'm not going to even go down that road. I think that's way off-putting to even say that. We're entitled to our opinions. We put it to a vote. Let's see how it goes. It was 3-2, passed. That's where we're at. I think we have to have further discussions. I don't like doing this, on record about this. I don't know why we can't have the discussion off like this, but it is what it is. We voted no. I don't have faith in it. That's where we're at. It's not political. It's nothing side of that.
Any other comments? We'll move forward. Madam, we're going to remove item ordinance number 1519 from the agenda. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance 1520.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1520, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 7 on-street regulations of the Code of the Township of Little Falls.
Thank you. The public hearing on 1520 is now open. Does anyone wish to speak on 1520? Seeing no one come before this governing body to speak on 1520, the public hearing on ordinance 1520 is now closed. Have a motion to adopt ordinance 1520.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy, second by Councilman Patel. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, this is ordinance 1521, with the notion that the signs are going to be removed. Have that duly noted in the minutes. Have a motion to introduce 1521. So moved by Councilwoman Hablitz.
Excuse me, Council President. I haven't read the
I'm sorry,
ordinance.
got ahead of myself.
Okay.
Can you read the ordinance 1521?
Sure. Introduction of ordinance number 1521, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls and County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 7 on street regulations of the Code of the Township of Little Falls, with second reading and public hearing scheduled for June 23rd, 2025.
Thank you. Have a motion to introduce 1521.
So moved.
Moved by Councilwoman Hablitz.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Patel. So we're going to take this under a vote with the notion, again, I'll repeat myself, that the signs get removed at that current intersection. Please call the roll for 1521.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilmember Havlet?
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes. Councilwoman Patel, would you lead us off on council discussions?
Yes, thank you, Council President. Just a few things from the Public Health Committee. The WISE program for the seniors continues weekly. There's been a great turnout. Everyone that's participated thus far has thoroughly enjoyed it. There are still 2 more classes left, which they meet on Wednesdays from 10:30 till 12 at the Civic Center. So if anyone wants to join, they could either reach out to me or John Pace at the Civic Center. And then the Clifton Health Department has an autism and disability parent support group that was established with the goal to provide a welcoming, supportive, inclusive, and educational environment for parents and families of neurodiverse individuals. Again, this program only has 2 meetings left, but Tom Sadowski from the Clifton Health reached out to me, letting me know that there are still open spaces. So if there's any families that want to join, please reach out to me. And finally, the next Public Health Committee meeting is going to take place on Wednesday, July 9th at 6:30 PM, and that's right here in Town Hall.
Thank you. And you're currently working on a survey, is that correct, Councilwoman Patel?
Yes, we, as I mentioned last time, we initially had a survey done when I first got into office. Surprisingly, time has flown by very quickly. And we do want to get additional information from the residents. We kind of want to focus more on what the residents are looking for in terms of services and programs, so that I can discuss those things with the health department and expedite bringing those programs to Little Falls.
Thank you. Councilwoman Havelitz?
Thank you, Council President. So just some library updates. There will be a preschool yoga this Friday, June the 6th at 10:15 a.m. Registration is done at the library's website, as well as there is a Dungeon and Dragons this Monday the 9th at 6:30 p.m. for grades 9 and up. Also registering at their website, and the library is in the process of installing their sensory garden, thanks to a grant from City Green. So be on the lookout for that. As always, there is their social media pages and their website to see more events at the library. The farmers market is going well. This week, the Friends of the Library will be there with a children's activity. We really do have some great vendors, so join us each and every Sunday until the last weekend in October. That's all I have. Thank you.
Councilwoman, would you like to give a big shout out to the Friends of the Library with
Yes,
the successful fundraiser
so
that they
We
had?
do have the Friends of the Library that actually has finally taken off in a great direction. This weekend, they had an open mic at Just Jake's in Montclair. It was a successful fundraiser for them, and we look forward as the library to working with them, collaborating for things that the library might need to offset some of the cost.
Thank you. Councilman Vanchery?
Thanks, Council President. What I want to know about the event at Just Jake's is why didn't Councilwoman Havelitz and Council President Scoba get up and do the open mic? I heard you were there, but
No one wants to hear me sing.
figured a Frank Sinatra song would have came out at some point. A few updates from me. Last time we met was right before the Memorial Day weekend activities. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that was involved to make the Friday night concert in the park, which ended up being at the rec center, as well as the parade on Saturday. Kudos to the Little Falls Police Department, the Little Falls Recreation Center, and the Little Falls DPW. We met a few days prior to kind of, just go over the 2 days and what the expectations were, and everything went smooth. I mean, the weather didn't cooperate on Friday for the concert like it usually does, but we got lucky on Saturday where it held up in the morning for us to get through. So thank you for everyone that was a part of that, and already starting to plan next year. As the mayor alluded to with the ordinance tonight, on Monday, we actually had our annual Pride Flag ceremony take place at Town Hall. Grateful for the mayor and council for attending, as well as the members of the Little Falls Police Department, as well as Lieutenant Dawn Gilchrist, who spoke. And ironically, when she talked about her program, and it was posted later on social media, one of the businesses in town reached out and asked if Lieutenant Gilchrist could come over and bring the stickers to put on their business. So it was good to hear that. Also grateful for Assemblyman Al Barlis always being there for Little Falls. He came and said a few words as well. So again, we do these events to recognize the community and all different activities per month. And it's good to see a crowd come out. With people complaining on social media, go right ahead. You're entitled to your opinion. I don't care. We had a good event and people enjoyed it. So thank you for that. I did want to mention this Saturday, again, the weather is going to factor into this, where we're probably going to move it to the rec center. We are going to have the Little Falls Muslim Committee has put together an Eid al-Adha event that we're going to do in the park from 2 to 5. We're going to have some food trucks and some arts and crafts for the kids. We're going to probably make the call sometime tomorrow, if not Friday morning, but We're going to move it to the rec center on Saturday instead. So more details to come, but if anybody's around this weekend, please feel free to stop by. Number of activities for the kids and their family. One thing I also wanted to mention, last week, the long-awaited lighted pedestrian crosswalk signs came in. We got 2 of them that came in. Unfortunately, there's an issue with the poles because of what they require into the current concrete. So I was with Director Campbell today, and he's reached out to the vendor to see if we can get some replacement poles so that we can install both lighted pedestrian crosswalks over at Patterson Ave, one just in front of the shack, that area, and then one closer to the rec center. I know we were hoping for 3, we've got 2 right now, but you know, I can't wait for those to come up as well. So I'll keep you posted on that, but know that they are in the DPW yard. We're just waiting on the new poles, and we'll just take it from there. That's it for me.
Thank you. Councilman Murphy.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President. Now, I wasn't around Sunday, but if you had told me that you guys were going to perform, I would have made myself available. A few things to report on the Domestic Violence Awareness Committee. I just want to thank all the members that helped with the Memorial Day Parade. Those who both walked in the parade and those that helped set up with the float and the balloons. I also want to thank the Girl Scouts for walking with the committee. It's just awesome to see them join up and be together. You know, it's just such a good thing to see the young women and the committee join teams and join forces for such a good cause. And I'm really appreciative that they were agreeing in for the past 2 years to walk with them. We did have our monthly meeting last night, and I had some upsetting news to go over with the committee. I got word that the Passaic County Domestic Violence and Sexual Violence Center is closing effective 6/27, which is a huge blow. That also includes the 24/7 hotline and a lot of the resources that they provide to us. I confirmed that I called the center, and obviously this is devastating to our organization and the committee, because they're really the lifeline that we tag along with for resources for those who are survivors or victims of DV. And so we're working with other counties and the prosecutor's office to see what solutions that we can come up with to try to at least shift it to another county or do something. I was just talking with the police chief, Chief Paul, and he just let me know that there is potentially a grant in the works. So I'm going to be talk with him on that to see what we can do to try to help support that or push down the line to try to keep that center open, because really is a big blow and very upsetting. But I'll keep everybody posted on where we get with that. Also tomorrow at Passaic Valley High School, we have the presentation teaming up with the prosecutor's office at 9 a.m. for the Passaic Valley senior class. This is the second year that we're doing it, and the superintendent and principal over at PV are really ecstatic that we're coming back, because I know it had some positive impact last year. So happy to be there, happy that the committee's going to be there, happy to tag along with the prosecutor's office. So a lot of still good coming from the committee. Even if we have the closure, we'll keep chugging along. So that's all I have, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Murphy. Yeah, it's disturbing that they'll be closing that center. Council, you have anything for this governing body? Chief Pearl?
No report, sir.
Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Vanchery. Is that second by Councilman Patel? This is a voice vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Madam Clerk?
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. It is preferred if you give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you. The floor is now open. No one in our chat room and no one's coming before us. Have a motion to close the public?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Councilman Hablitz, second by Councilwoman Patel. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I want to thank Vince, Cynthia, and Melissa for assisting me in putting this meeting together. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Murphy,
Second.
second by Councilman Vanchery. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? This meeting is now closed.